introducing my players. First up, I want to introduce Ivar Goldcrown, played by.
Ryanaga, and Ivar is a gray dwarf whose job is Eldritch Knight.
And next we have Okoru, played by.
Jarwolf, and Okoro is a dead set bugbear monk.
Next up we have Sylvia, played by.
A full cerulean. And Sylvia is a human sorcerer warlock whose job is Eldritch Blast.
Uh, Next we have Raz, played by.
Will, and Raz is a lore bard.
And last, but certainly not least, we have Azure, played by.
Army 827, and Azure is a half-elf paladin.
Who has also only recently learned how to miss. So, when last we adventured, the party had successfully gone through a rather drawn-out combat and done a little bit of exploration around a outpost to, I think it was Xanathar's outpost, right? Yeah, Xanathar's
Yep.
outpost, and they had cheesed the hell out of animated ballista, and they had also explored an ale dispenser, and there are some doors up to the northwest that are tantalizingly calling your name.
Somebody in this room likes drinking ooze. That's not good beer.
Do we need
I
to
will-
make perception checks?
Yes, everybody should make perception checks. Let's see here. Move that to here. Set this to round one.
Well, I fail everything.
Maybe you'll get good rolls.
Jesus.
Oh
Not.
no.
Yeah, Sylvia, you and I.
There you go.
Well, there's a stealth. Oh,
Oh, that was
oh,
stealth.
oh no! This is horribly backfired on me. Okay. All right.
Well, at least
So,
I'm stealthy today.
indeed. Are you going first through the doorway?
Yeah, if the party doesn't have anything else to do in here, I'll.
Well, before you do that, I'm going to mage hand it open.
Okay.
Okay. So with the
Maybe we'll get hit by a wall of beer.
you should only be so lucky.
I'd be lucky if it was brandy.
Here we go. Go like this.
I think our livers would sort of explode if that happened.
I'm a bugbear.
I'm just gonna go like that. Okay, so you open one door only to find that there's another door immediately beyond.
Yoink.
So you open that door as well. It swings open to reveal 6 stone vats arranged in rows of 3 that dominate the 20-foot high room. There is a double door to the far west, past the stacks, past the vats, not stacks.
Yeah, I was going to say, this isn't a library.
No. So I'm trying to see. Where? But where? I don't understand. Hang tight for just a second while I try to figure something out. Cover that. You would think that they would just put them on the fucking map. Okay, all right. I'm just gonna figure it out on my own. And if I figure it out differently later, then that'll be that. So each of these vats, by the way, they are slightly bulging stone cylinders. They're about 10 feet high and 10 feet in diameter. You're not sure how thick the walls of these things are. They have copper spigots embedded in the vats on the side facing the nearest wall. So the northern ones face the northern wall, the southern ones face the southern walls, at a height of about 3 feet off the ground. Now there's a narrow stone staircase that curls up the exterior of each vat to the top, and it is fitted with a hinged copper lid. And additionally, there are 30 empty barrels, all made of iron-banded zirkwood, which is a type of woody fungus if you aren't familiar. and they are in really poor condition right now. So they
The
definitely aren't
barrels, not the vats,
the barrels.
are
The
okay.
barrels. You can see that some rot and some other stuff is kind of set in, and it's made the barrels partly collapse. So like some of the Zerk wood is usable, some of it isn't. And so yeah, all in all, that's kind of what you get.
Okay. Uh, Okoro, being a alcohol connoisseur and legitimately an expert on alcohol, uh, traipses up the nearest vat of whatever is in here. You said the vat is sealed, right? So he can't just get to the top and see what had been brewing.
And start
Um,
swimming.
well,
Maybe.
not really sealed. The tops of them have this copper cap, and I'm trying to look for the description again. Vat at the top, which is fitted with a hinged copper lid.
Oh, okay, so it's hinged. Okay.
Yes.
Um, Okoro being a uh, a expert who is proficient with brewer supplies, would he know if it's generally a good idea to go ahead and open up a lid like this on a vat?
Well, I kind of want to make you make a roll, but I also have no idea what roll would apply.
Well, probably the brewer's supplies, or maybe.
Oh, 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 oh,
Probably
I know.
Nate.
I have the answer. I have the answer. Here's what we're gonna do. I want you to roll a wisdom check with
Mhm.
your proficiency bonus. So you're probably gonna have to do like a modifier down at the bottom and then just roll a
Okay.
dice. So figure out what all that would be, add it as a modifier, roll the dice, let's see what you get.
How do I add a modifier that's not just a +2? Because our modifier right now is +3.
Do you see the 0?
Uh-huh.
Okay, you change the 0 to literally any number you want and then just roll a
Oh,
d20.
you can type in there. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't show a little what's it called? Text cursor, I guess. And use the regular d20, not the one off of your sheet for wisdom, okay?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
so
I should
add yeah.
add both in. Okay.
hmm
Okay.
I wouldn't count that out as a possibility yet, Sylvia. Um, so you aren't 100% certain exactly what people were sort of thinking. You have a feeling that the hinge lid shouldn't really be all that dangerous to open. Um, After all, you kind of have to put the liquids into the vat at some point to brew anyway, so like this just seems like a natural place to access them.
So I'm not gonna get like a backdraft of heat or some kind of professional, hazard that I would otherwise be aware of.
Well, that's the thing you're not sure about because these vats, like this space,
Hmm.
is I keep forgetting how old this fucking dungeon is. It's really, really old. Like it's older than modern human civilization. So it's like 3 to 5 thousand years old, something like that.
So
Um,
these vats
These
are unusual in his experience with brewing alcohol.
no, what I'm saying is that it's been thousands and thousands of years, and you have no idea what that would do to a contained brewing situation.
I
Okay.
mean,
Well, he
but
opens up the vat.
Okay.
I'd be surprised if it actually worked.
Um,
Because, I mean, thousands of years of rust.
well, and copper is not something that really stands up to oxidization very well. Blah. Anyways, you find that the lid is a little bit stuck, but it isn't so stuck that you have to roll a strength check. It's just narrative. You
Hmm.
spend some time working on the lid for just a second. You give it like 2 or 3 good tugs, and on the third tug, the lid kind of not just flies open, but flies off the hinges, like you've busted the hinges, and it sort of goes sailing off behind you. And fortunately, thanks to your wonderful sense of balance, being a monk and all, you manage to right yourself without tipping over backwards. And you kind of poke your head inside, more curious than hopeful, and see there's actually nothing left inside. There's a whole bunch of what's the word I'm looking for? Stains on the inside that indicate that there was once alcohol in here, but there's nothing in here at present. Now, you can also see, because you're looking in from the top, and there's a light source in this room. Um, the interior is lined with copper, and they have a pipe at the bottom that runs under the floor. And again, given your familiarity with brewer's equipment, you're really certain that that just leads into the copper piping in the next room.
Okay. Okoro says, "This is where the slime beer comes from."
It is worth
Uh,
noting that with your reference to that slime beer, there is no green slime in this particular vat. There could be in others, but the other thing about green slime, especially having given the fact that you guys encountered it recently, I think you identified it last time. Green slime, as a reminder, likes to drop onto things. It takes a long time. It's like a snail in terms of movement. It'll slowly move itself up onto the ceiling, then it will drop onto something unsuspecting below, and it will attempt to sort of seep into like cracks in armor and hold tight and attempt to suffocate its foe, and then slowly dissolve it over the course of like 8 hours.
How intact is that vat lid?
As I had indicated before, he has already ripped the vat lid off in the attempt to open it.
Right, and he flung it behind him, and it's now on the floor, and that's why I drew that circle. How heavy is it, and how intact?
I'm gonna adjust your circle. I'm gonna delete your circle altogether because I want to show something different. Move that.
Okay.
I'm gonna go like this. Okay, so it's more like this. Um, it is. It's not even that big. It just occupies a space like that. It's probably more like 2.5 feet across by 2.5 feet. Is a big square thing of copper. Um, it's moderately solid. I mean, it's about half an inch thick. Um, it's still in the shape of a lid despite having been flung down a good 10 feet and bounced off the floor. Um, it's intact. Why? What do you want it for?
I wasn't even sure.
Okay,
I was
well
just
that's your answer.
does anybody else have any thoughts about the beer room, or are you folks happy to let Okoro investigate and see if he can find some whiskey?
I'd say investigate just to see if there's anything interesting. You might have a slime that attacks you, though.
Okay. I'm gonna go looking for the slime, unless the I can get some kind of insight on, the alcohol. I note my brewer's supplies gives me insight into the history of alcohol, if that would at
Ooh,
all
is
apply.
your history check at all good?
Uh,
I don't think so. I mean, unless you specifically trained in it, you probably have your
it's just
intelligence check.
Yeah, it's flat, but I get an advantage on any history check that involves alcohol.
Okay, well then make history checks at advantage. Don't forget you have to press the advantage button before you make the check.
I gotcha.
Okay. And so I'm just um, you know, just
wonderful.
uh, uh so Okoro turns to Sylvia and very authoritatively says, "I am very certain indeed, that this is a Naga brewery." Sylvia raises an eyebrow and looks at all the dwarven iconography all over the place, and shakes her head.
That's why there's slime.
Yeah, it must be. Anyways,
All
so
right.
you climb up to the.
I'm not even going to question it. Why
Don't
are
question
they?
the experts.
Why did I use a Scottish accent? I'm so used.
I don't know.
Okay.
So, anyways, you climb to the top of the vat. This one, the lid actually comes up pretty readily. Only one of the hinges is working, so everything rests on one hinge. This vat is also empty. It has a similar stain pattern around the inside of the lid, and yeah, there's nothing else to it.
Okay. I'll do this one next.
Okay. You go up to the top. You manage to open the lid on this one. It creaks loudly as it does so. And when you, hmm, okay. When it does so, um, Raz thinks that he hears a noise, and the noise is coming from over this side of the room. It's either this one or it's this one, but he's not certain which one. It's a little echoey in here, especially with all the copper and metal bouncing around sound. Um, Anyways, when you look inside of this one, there's a different stain pattern, but down at the bottom, it looks like the pipes have um, warped over all the years of not being maintained, and there's no slime or anything inside of here, but the piping at the bottom is all busted up, so this one would be unusable if you were to try to brew anything.
Okay. I'm gonna try this one since Raz
I
says
was just
it might.
going to, before that, just suggest something. I'm
Sure.
going to put an ear to either one and just knock on them and see if either one sounds to have a different timbre.
Oh, before you do, there's one thing I should mention, which is that the the walls of these things are 6-inch thick, like pretty dense stone. Um, and so I bring this up mostly because A, you've had a look inside, so you have a sense of how thick the walls are, and B, because tapping on them, you're not really going to get much sound to go through 6 inches of dense stone.
Then we can tap on the top, which would have the exact same effect, but is not 6 inches of stone.
Okay. Which one are you going to tap on? Place your icon on top of it.
I don't know. I was suggesting Okuru do it.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. um, so
Long limbed Okuru.
you tap on top of this one, and you hear a fairly standard echo from within. Um, it actually sounds perhaps a little bit muted.
Okay. Open it up.
Okay. Um, at the bottom of this one, there is oh, I see. There is a thin layer of I forget. I've already forgotten the name of it. When you do brewing, one of the things I
Mm-hmm.
found out is there's sort of a pulpy material that gets left over from the liquid,
Mm-hmm.
and
The mash, I believe.
yeah, it's something like that. There is some rancid mash down at the bottom. It looks distinctly different. It's like an orangish brown color, so it's definitely not green slime. But for whatever reason, it just didn't get cleaned out several thousand years ago. It's not really all that moist. It just looks kind of moist because of that's what mash looks like. But it's dried out and kind of crispy at the bottom.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go over this one and pang, pang, pang.
Okay. This one, when you hear pang, 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 there is a groan coming from within, and the lid rattles. So everybody roll initiative.
Hooray!
Yay! I rolled terrible again.
Me too.
Okay, I think that's everybody. So um, Raz, the lid isn't really open. Okoro's kind of up there. Is there anything in particular you want to do? A buff? Try to get up there as well? Back away and hide? Something?
I'm going to cast Bless on Sylvia Okoro.
Oh my.
So both of us.
I'm done.
Okay.
Well, actually, no, I'm backing away, then I'm done.
Can you remind me what Bless does? Is that a
The effects are on there. It'll actually buff your to hit and your saving throws.
I
okay?
I can't remember if it's this edition or a different edition. It's either third or fifth. Bless gives you additional saving throws versus fear effects. I don't think it gives you just generic saving throw bonus. I could be wrong.
Nope, it's just a 1d4 added to attack roll or saving throws, period.
Okay, good. Then you all set?
Alright, I have to hit the button.
Please. Ivar,
I'm dashing because I'm
You're-
behind, so
yep.
I'll just dash and I'm ending my turn.
Okay. Azor.
Oh,
Now the
oh,
groan was loud enough that anybody, in this room or the next could hear it.
that's my turn.
Okay. Okoro, you're up. What will you do?
I am lifting the lid.
A a familiar
Another
visage stares up at you with one dead eye.
That's not news. All right. Can I take out my hammer and give it some wax?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. You're not beer. How dare you not be beer? Nope, that's not what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hit it with a heel kick. Just land an axe kick on it. No, I'm not, but that's gonna make me feel better about myself. So I will increase my AC by 2, and then I will try and heel kick it again.
Okay. Okay. So
Um,
you get in 2 solid hits. The creature, of course, is very squishy from being rotted and dead. It takes the blows, and you seem to leave some permanent indents within it.
okay. I think I'm fine here.
Okay.
I will hit the button. But ow.
Sylvia.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna do what I always do.
Yep.
Altrich Blast.
Here's what I'm going to do before you do that. I don't want to be too dreadfully picky. Um, if you guys can get up on the left side of any given vat, if you get up in like the position that Sylvia or Okoro are, I'm going to consider you to sort of be up 10 feet to the top of the vat. And if you're using ranged attacks, that means you won't have any penalty.
Okay. Well, I didn't drag the thing onto the beholder. Does that hit, or are we considering that, or?
Hold on. Yeah, that hits.
Uh,
And next time, you may want to hold control and target it just in case you miss.
oh, come on.
Well, you hit with the first one.
Yeah, whatever. Um, I will, however, use my bonus action to spend a healing die on a.
Thank you.
You get 6 hit points back.
Great.
Okay. All right. So the first thing that's going to happen is that the beholder sort of squeezes and forces itself up through the hatch. Now the ceiling is 20 feet. The height of the vats, the top of them is at 10 feet, which is where these little platforms are. If I'm not mistaken, when it goes up, it will move outside of your 5 foot reach, which gives you an opportunity attack on it because it's not your turn, so you don't have 10 feet of reach.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, go ahead and make your opportunity attack roll.
Okay.
Okay, so on his turn, I think I have to roll. Nice hit, by the way. Okay. All right. It flicks an eye ray at Azure. Okay, good. All of his thingies are correct. And it manages to get off a fear effect. So you are frightened of the creature. And I'm just going to double check what the parameters on this are. You can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of your turns. It ends on a success. Otherwise, you're frightened for a minute, which is 10 rounds. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
And let me make sure. Uh, okay.
Dang, my
Uh,
lesser restoration doesn't cure that.
okay, so that is it for its turn. So we go back to the top of the round, which is Haleth. Haleth is, I don't know, going to move to here, and he'll try to use his Vengeful Glare on the creature. It fails. So I believe
As you
first
It
do.
thing he,
learned from the last one.
yeah. So he glares at the creature, and it's paralyzed. Can it be paralyzed? Yeah, apparently it can. So yeah, we have a paralyzed undead beholder.
Woohoo! We
Um,
love you, Howl.
Let
so
us destroy it.
Haleth is done, and it's up to Raz now.
All right, Raz is going to use as an action, going to start a performance that lasts until the end of my next turn. During that time, me and any friendly creatures within 30 feet have advantage on saving throws against being frightened or charmed. I'm going to use counter charm. And then with frightened, he doesn't have to run away, does he? He just
He
can't
can't
approach.
he can't approach, and I believe he gets a penalty. Hold on a second. Conditions. Frightened. Can't really move. Disadvantage on
Disadvantage on
ability
attack rolls.
ability and attack rolls while the source of its fear is within its line of sight, or within line of sight. So yeah, there you have it.
I'm just going to move over there. And then I'm going to do counter charm. Was it Ivar or Azure who got it?
Create your.
Okay, well, I'm still within 30 feet of both of you, so there we go. I'm. All right.
So I'm just going to shoot him. Wow.
Wow, it's just not your guys' night.
Well, it never is mine. So that was a great turn, and I am done.
Okay.
So I just have a task with disadvantage against it.
Correct.
Except you also have advantage because he's paralyzed, so it's just going to cancel out.
Oh, time to tuck the javelin.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
Oh no, you get to roll against fear.
Yeah.
With
At
advantage,
advantage.
right?
I don't think he gets advantage.
Yeah, that's why I did counter charm.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you meant because he was a paladin.
What's the fear? A wisdom check? or save.
It's a wisdom check.
So, uh,
Well, pretty sure you didn't need the
Yeah.
advantage.
I mean, that a 19 will probably do it.
Yeah, 19 definitely does it. So let me make sure I remove frightened before I forget. There you go. Okay, Okoro, you're all set to go.
Okay. Is the beholder zombie within 10 feet of me?
Within 10 feet. Yes, definitely.
Okay. Then he's
Oh,
about to.
just sorry, real quick. The beholder zombie is floating such that it's almost brushing up against the ceiling of the room, which is 20 feet off the ground.
Okay. But I'm also at the top of one of these vats, so.
Which is an
Uh,
additional 10 feet, so you can absolutely reach.
okay. I'm taking cues from Ivar. Uh,
We're all trendsetters this evening.
I think I want to preserve my AC as being as high it is. So I'm gonna kick him a few times. I
Okay.
say him. It could be a her beholder.
Indeed.
Or now I'm wondering about things I shouldn't be wondering about, like beholder gender politics.
Beholders are agendered.
That's valid.
Oh, also, if you guys conclude combat, I'll tell you an interesting piece of beholder lore as to where beholders come from, how they reproduce.
Oh, I know that answer. That's hilarious.
I do too, actually. I watched YouTube. All right, that's it for me.
Sylvia, what will you do?
What I always do, really.
Keep calm and carry on?
Yeah, pretty much. Very boring turn. Okay. And as a bonus action, I'll cast Shillelagh on myself.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay. Um. Well, a decent mix of damage, I suppose. So for his turn, let me roll it.
Can it act while it's paralyzed?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. That's right. And actually, I think it's supposed to. I'm 99% sure it can't. I would be really surprised. P. Incapacitated, so no, it can't. Attack rolls, da 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 da. I think it has to roll against Haleth's Glare. If I have to find it,
I
though.
think so.
The-
Vengeful Glare. When paralyzed until Haleth deals damage to it, or until Haleth's next turn, so it doesn't even get a save. Now it's Haleth's turn, which means the paralysis wears off, but the frightened effect is now applied to it, which again, somehow, despite being a zombie, it's able to be frightened. Um,
I mean,
so
Haleth is a zombie.
uh,
I mean, he's undead, but I think he's a revenant.
Are those really different?
yeah, they're really, really different.
Failure.
So now it's
Hmm.
paralyzed and frightened.
S-
Uh,
Stud
So,
block.
so
yeah.
Haleth is MVP tonight, as
Yep.
always. And
Yep.
Raz, what will you do?
Gonna take out my crossbow and shoot it. That's not what I meant to do. Sorry. There we go. All right. Okay, I'm done. Let me hit the head.
Okay. Ivar.
All right. Oh, wow. I got a hit.
We really are like a melee spec party for the most part.
Well, you're the one that keeps casting Shillelagh.
I'm doing that sort of because I just don't have that much bonus actions thing.
Is Shillelagh a cantrip?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think.
It just buffs my my melee attacks.
No,
When
but
you're
is
facing
it
the
a
beholder.
cantrip?
Yes.
It is a cantrip and it is a bonus action.
Okay.
Okay, so whopping 9, and I am done.
Whoosh.
Oh, that dropped 1.
Ka-chunk.
I mean, as long as it drops a 1, it's all worth it for the entire evening. Okoru, what will
Mhm.
you do?
How injured does it look?
It's heavy.
It's at least bloodied.
Okay. Uh,
Nice!
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've got this thing stun locked enough that it'll just die.
there you go. He's dying now.
I mean, yeah, and actually, that's the most poetic end possible. You get a crit, and then you do the maximum possible crit damage. So,
Doesn't
uh,
he roll to pop
At,
back up?
oh
act.
yeah, no, he
Oh
can't.
yeah.
He can't because he died to a critical hit.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
Yeah, so
cool.
it's crits or radiant damage. That way, if a party doesn't have a
Right.
cleric for some reason, you're not fucked.
Oh, okay, so you just have to keep trying to crit him. Cool.
Well, that he can always fail sometimes. Anyways,
Yeah, that's true.
you hit the beholder, unbelievably hard. It just whacks itself up against the top of the ceiling and it's just kind of smushed up there, and his jaw kind of sags down. Um, yeah, you have no desire to see that thing fall. But
I,
once all the eye tentacles stop moving, you're pretty sure it's dead. That's a plus.
Okoru gets out his journal and starts writing a haiku about his success, which I will come up with later.
I'm curious to hear it when it's done.
You should probably roll stealth again.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Or,
Okay, well,
or not stealth and just poke your head into places it doesn't belong.
I
Is there
think
anything in the vat
Excuse
now
me.
that the
Oh, in the bottom of this particular vat, you can actually see that there are 3 at least distinct green slimes down there. So this seems to be the vat that they came from. Um, and in fact, it seems that the green slimes had been trying to feed on the beholder with little success.
can we just shoot them until they die?
Oh yeah,
Or
no,
yeah
we'll just consider you guys having had killed them because anybody that has cantrips in the party will just,
Yeah, it's
insult
not
Yeah.
as
or
hard as a
blast
ballista, and we saw what happened to them.
them. Yeah, exactly. These things are fish in a barrel, as it were.
I'm gonna get up near Howleth and just check this last vat, just in case there might be something useful in there.
Okay. Oh, so looking down at the bottom of this one, this one also contains a small pool at the bottom. It looks like whatever alcohol was down there has gone rancid, and you very distinctly smell some sort of vinegary smell coming out of it.
Hmm.
But it's been a
Can I?
really, really long time, so like you're not exactly sure what would have been in here. But you can try to roll if you want. I think that's where you're going with it.
Yeah, just curious what if I can identify what it is they were trying to make here at some point.
Go for it. Roll a history check.
Okay. Um, forgive me, but there we go. My sheet went away for a little bit. Boom. Oh, I'm sorry. I rolled the wrong
Yeah.
die there.
Well,
There.
oh, but you rolled it with
Oh, it didn't preserve the advantage.
No,
Okay.
it only applies it to the next roll because they don't.
Oh, there. You can have an 11.
I'll give you guidance too. Add a D4.
Okay.
You have a feeling that the drink at the bottom was most likely Fireball.
Ugh. I mean, it is a whiskey, but they have terrible taste.
It really is.
All right.
Basically, anything that college kids drink is just. Ugh.
I'm so disgusted by the fireball. I am only moderately stealthy.
Well, now that
As
you said it, I really just wanna I really just wanna have retcon that to be White Claw.
Ugh.
Anyways,
A mixture of White Claw and Four Loco.
they magicked it from the future of the terrible, terrible future.
No, everything old is new again, Brandon.
This is the darkest timeline.
anyways. So, are you just gonna go right through the doors, Brandon?
I was
Yes.
gonna mage hand it, but okay.
I mean, if you want to mage hand it, you can. Just kind of storms off, embittered by the terribleness of these brewers who he wanted to respect.
Yeah, I'll mage hand the right hand door, the northern door.
Okay. Don't do anything right away, because this passageway is a little oddly shaped. And I want to. Gets this one. There we go. There. Okay. So the first 10 feet, which actually kind of includes the door, there's a landing, and it's the hall then gradually slopes down towards the west. You're not exactly sure what's down at the bottom. It looks like there's um, a dead end possibly, but it looks like based on some scrapes on the floor, people used to roll barrels down this passageway towards the end. So you would fill them up and you'd roll them down to the person who's waiting at the other end with a person down there to sort of catch the barrels and then do something with them.
Drink them.
Yeah, catch and drink after having emptied them from the vats.
It's a game I know well.
Indeed. So yeah, what will you do?
You can always send Bat down there to figure out what's going on.
I mean, that's true.
Oh no.
Motherfucker.
I am very sorry. So let's see here. Blah blah blah. Okay.
And my armor of Agathis got lost too.
uh,
Like just now.
oh wow. There is no save.
Oh.
Did I do it? Yeah, I did it to Sylvia. So here's what happens. As soon as you step on the cover to this pit, it immediately falls open like a trap door, and it causes you to fall into a pit below. You take 5 points of bludgeoning damage, and then the lid is spring loaded and it snaps back and closes as soon as you have fallen past it. It's really dark in here, and you kind of can't see anything. I'm pretty sure you have the light cantrip though
Yeah, I'll cast light on a
on your hand or
silver piece
something.
or copper piece.
Sure.
Use that as a light.
So from the inside, you can actually see that there is a spring mechanism. If you had some proficiency with thieves tools, you might be able to disable it from this side.
Incidentally, I do, due to
But
my urchin background.
the main thing that is wait a minute. The main problem here is going to be that you've fallen down a 20-foot pit. So it's a matter of trying to figure out how you would even reach it, and then even if you could reach it, you'd also have to climb out. So you're kind of trapped down here for the moment. Now, obviously, Ivar
I could sort of like,
Okoru saw you fall into the pit trap, so they can
So
so they're
help
gonna
you.
leave me here.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, no, I mean they saw that there's a trap there. They saw you fall into it. Presumably they'll help you. What will they do?
Help her.
I'm sorry, what?
Help her. Get out.
Okay. So you walk up to the space where the lid is, and you're able to use your feet to kind of press down on it some. But the strange thing is that now that it's snapped back into place, it actually feels like perfectly solid ground. In fact, if you hadn't seen Sylvia fall through here, you wouldn't even know there was a trap.
Hang on a minute. I can start like fiddling with it from this side. I think.
How are
And
you
I get
gonna
out my.
reach up 20 feet though?
Is
I've got
that
Mage Hand.
Oh,
ooh?
I mean, it's
okay. I don't know if
it.
Mage Hand can
The
use
Mage
these
Hand.
traps.
Well, it can hold 10 pounds worth of stuff, right?
Right, but that's
And
not the
it's
issue.
not.
The issue is the limited dexterity of Mage Hand.
I
Can
didn't say that I would be terribly good at doing it, but
Well,
I've not
the
got
game
much else to do.
rules may prevent you from doing it, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to look it up real quick. Use these tools.
The hand can't attack, activate magic items, or carry more than 10 pounds.
Uh, oh, here we go. This is probably going to answer it. Okay. Ah, okay. So the Arcane Trickster Rogue, um, that Mage Hand, which is an upgraded version of Mage Hand, specifically grants the ability to use Thieves' Tools to pick locks and disarm traps at range, meaning that Mage Hand can't do it otherwise.
Okay, so
So, you would have to find some way to sort of get 15 feet of crap underneath you or climb up the wall and do it while precariously clinging to the wall.
Is there any slat or anything that I might be able to slide rope down?
Well, I want to get back to that for a second because I know Sylvia I had to talk her through a bunch of stuff. But what I was going to say is that with Azure having pressed his foot against it, Azure is pretty strong. You have a feeling that you might be able to force it open again, but it would probably take a successful strength check to see if you can get it open, and you're not sure how difficult it would be. Um, so if you
Raz is going to pull out his crowbar, which gives
okay,
advantage to strength checks where crowbar's leverage can be applied, and hand it to someone with a positive strength score, which is not them.
Azure?
very well
ah,
done, Will.
One of you strong, manly men can take care of this.
Don't forget to apply advantage before you roll the check.
I'm at 18 strength. Anyone have better?
I doubt it.
No one has
Not me.
better. Ivar is tied though.
All right, here's nothing.
Oh, take guidance.
Uh,
So I had a D4, right?
go ahead and add your D4. You fail.
Well, I did all I could.
You have a feeling you got pretty close, but as you were trying to slip the pry bar in, you started to get it in, and then it just snapped shut again on you, and the pry bar sort of flung out backwards. Um,
All right, will you hand the bar to me, please?
make room, make room.
Take guidance for you as well.
Thank
y'all
you.
can smash that thing if you want.
What's that, Sylvia? I didn't hear you.
I said y'all can smash
No, no,
that
no.
thing.
Your voice is muffled. I can't hear you. There you go.
Oh no, she's drowning. It must be filling up with water. We must work faster.
All right, Ivar.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Oh,
And then guidance, right?
yeah.
I guess the help
Wow.
action would work.
Well, the
That just
prob
gives advantage, which they already have, unfortunately.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's just not gonna
Yeah.
stack. Um, what are you guys gonna do?
It,
I'm plenty fine with just leaving Sylvia there.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
Okay,
so it,
fine. Does this count as stuck?
Hmm?
Sylvia
Well,
is frustrated and just starts eldritch blasting the thing up above her.
I mean, Akoro should have a good roll chance too.
well,
What is? Okay. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Will, what were you saying about stuck?
Does this count as something that is stuck?
Uh,
Is it locked, stuck, or barred? AKA, could I just
yes.
use fucking knock on it?
Yes. Yes.
However, I do believe Sylvia acted before I did and Eldritch blasted it, so
Uh, I
Also killed something.
I think that works. It's made of metal doors, and you dealt 10 points of damage. So even if it was, no, I think that actually does it. So, actually, roll a second Eldritch Blast for me, just like the second attack. You get two. Roll a second one. Marvelous. That's perfect. Um, so I I was briefly concerned that I was going to have to look up the damage reduction that objects have. I don't have to do that now because you've clearly surpassed it. So with a 1-2 follow-up, Sylvia manages to blow the trapdoor lid open in a direction that it wasn't supposed to go. So now that it's kind of like pointed upwards, like I don't know, the slopes of a
oh, so it
volcano.
doesn't just fall on her. That's good.
No. It's been blown up and out and away, and then the pieces of the machine have kind of gotten jammed. So yeah, at this point, you guys can get a rope down. Sylvia's able to climb back up or be pulled up, whatever is necessary, and you guys can get her out of there. Um, now it's kind of strange though that there's no barrels down here. There's no other bodies. It's not like they had spikes down at the bottom of them. Um, so yeah, yeah.
I mean, I don't see anything, and I don't want to fall down another friggin' trap. I don't know.
Maybe you guys should be a little more careful as you go down the
as I
hole.
say, Raz is going to carefully and quietly walk down looking for traps while they go.
Okay.
Sylvia's gonna like eldritch blast the floor a bunch of times going forward.
You guys managed to find another trap. We're gonna say that Raz. Here, I'll put you. Yeah, you can put yourself. Raz managed to make it to about this point and senses there's another trap. Now it's the same size and dimension as the previous trap, so you can, I don't know, find something to lay it down because once that lid snaps shut with the spring load, it's pretty solid. You guys should be able to walk across it, especially based on your experience trying to get it open. Um, so yeah.
They're just going to try and disarm it with their thieves' tools.
Okay. Somebody roll me the appropriate check. It's a dex check plus your
One sec.
prof bonus.
And you figure out what my proficiency bonus is.
I know it's on your front page. It's in the upper right corner across from your class and level.
Oh,
And our level
I'm
is
not
on
sure,
plus
but with tools, since I took a bunch of weird things.
Oh, because you're a bard. Yeah.
Okay, it's only +3. I'm good.
Okay. So make your roll.
Woo!
Nice. Okay. So I'm going to go like that. I think you guys can see the thing has died we'll call it dead. But I'm still going to leave the markers there. So, anyways, so part of when you go ahead and disarm this particular trap, all you're really doing is pretty much what I already said. Once you figured out how the mechanism works, um, you're able to rig it so that you can press something in, and then as soon as you pull your hand away, the thing just snaps shut and stays closed. So it's something that you can walk across now. So once you move to about, say, here, um, you find yet another trap. Now, in addition to which, you can sense, because of some patterns along the walls, there are secret doors on either side.
Nope, I am probably getting in trouble. I got
Um, roll me a quick dex check as well.
dex save.
Yes, dex. Yeah, dex save. Hmm.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, you need to remove bless from all of us.
Oh
Uh.
yeah.
Okay. Remove blast. Remove blast. Remove blast. So, uh, boop. Well, you're leaning in to try to get this trap. Your your very low roll means that you kind of overleaned, and then your low dexterity means you've fallen in. So, let's see here. Bloop. You take a little bit of damage as you plunge to the ground. You cuss a little bit, start shouting at your friends from the bottom of the pit.
1 second. I'm just going to use a first level spell for Featherfall because
Oh,
nope.
okay, no problem.
Oh wait, I could have used that on Sylvia, couldn't I have? My bad.
I think you were
Well,
a
you
bit
weren't
far away, but
expecting it
it's
in that
fine.
particular case. So, let me go ahead and turn this to 0.
Sylvia
Okay.
just Eldritch blasts the thing repeatedly and gets Raz out.
Okay.
Uh,
So you blasted the lid for a while. Um, I'm just going to assume that since you have unlimited cantrips, you don't really need to roll for it. It's just a
But
waste
I
of
like
time. Then roll all you like. Status dying. So, anyways, the lids are blown downwards, and one of them sort of falls into the pit. Um, Raz is kind of freaked out and upset that the trap is sort of falling potentially on her. But you guys again managed to throw a rope down there, get her out.
Okoro points at Sylvia. She did it.
Once you make it back
As
out
he
of the
throws down the rope.
Right. Once you make it out of the pit, it's a little bit harder for you guys to make it to the sort of 10 squares, or sorry, 2 squares back there, the 10 feet ledge that you can safely access the secret doors to.
I'll
But
take a running leap.
yeah, I was gonna say it was mostly narrative. So I take it you're gonna explore the south entrance first.
I will listen to the party.
Yeah, I mean that works.
Okay.
Ivar,
So
you
the
cool
door
with
first.
It's fine.
Okay. I open the door.
So when you press a button, the wall sort of slides off to the west, and it reveals. Let me see here.
Or beholder zombies.
Uh, the room's walls climb 10 feet and then angle to form a pyramidal cap with a 30-foot high apex. Stacked in the middle of the room were several, like about 100 barrels banded in iron. Um, and most of the barrels lie smashed on the floor. Um, somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 plus of them remain intact. And yeah, that's it.
He goes to wherever the nearest barrel is that looks to be intact.
And what?
Knocks on the barrel to see if he can determine if it still has anything in it.
Um, this barrel definitely does have something inside of it. The barrel itself actually seems to be in fairly good shape despite all the other barrels that are not. Um, it it sounds like the liquid within, it's all full. It doesn't sound odd. It doesn't smell odd. It might actually somehow be good.
Okay. He takes out his brewer kit. He opens up the barrel using his crowbar, and tries to determine what's in this barrel.
Okay. Um, so you use a crowbar,
Mm-hmm.
pop it open, and there is a immediate and wonderful smell and a fizz that comes out. Um,
Ooh.
there's a froth, in fact, that forms at the top, and this ale seems to be completely intact. It has survived thousands of years, and it smells wonderful. Um, if this thing is actually somehow viable, hold on a second. I'm a little confused by something. I wanted to pull out my calculator real quick. I guess that's right. Let me check one more thing. Okay, so I'm just gonna be honest because I think I need your guys' help to help me figure this out. Um, I don't think any of us have seen an actual barrel in real life. Is that accurate?
I have.
Uh,
I've been to a couple wineries and
Okay,
breweries.
about how big is a barrel? Meaning, like, is it 3.5 feet high? Is it 4 feet high?
it's going to be about 3.5 or 4 feet high, about to the chest height to a typical person, and then probably about
Slightly more narrow.
yeah, probably about 3 feet wide. It would easily one barrel would easily occupy one of these squares.
Well, part of the reason I'm asking is because the short of it, especially since you have your brewer's kit, if all these
Mhm.
things actually contain, you know, valid dwarven ale from a lost civilization from thousands of years ago, um,
Mhm.
they would be worth 40 gold pieces apiece. However, the treasure entry indicates that, and I'm just going to skip ahead, there's 59 of them that are intact, 58 since you cracked this one open. It
Mhm.
says that the weight is 400 pounds
Given all the liquid in it, that's fair.
for a single
Actually,
barrel.
yeah.
Yep.
Like
Oh,
water
okay.
and such weighs a lot. Maybe not 400, but like that is still a lot of weight.
It's a lot of weight. And part of the other thing that was throwing me off is there's all these traps, and the traps are activated by about 50 pounds of force. So if you're rolling a 400 pound barrel down the way, and there's somebody at the end, they're going to be smashed to pieces by the rolling barrel. And if it, you would have to have all the traps, locked shut, and even then, 400 pounds is like a lot. So just there's a lot here that very suddenly doesn't make sense to me. Anyways,
So, there's probably about 36 gallons, and a gallon is about 8 pounds. So yeah, no, that makes about sense if we're also considering that the barrels weigh something. So,
yeah.
unfortunately, that's lost money because we can't fucking transport 400-pound barrels.
Oh, oh, but you might not need to. So roll a quick wisdom check. Beer barrel standard 3640.
That's a 13.
Oh, that's enough. So, especially with Ivar's roll. So you guys consult with one another for a while, sort of talking about this and how you might be able to get it back. And it occurs to Ivar, you don't have to get it back. Like there are all sorts of people way up in that inn that are desperate for information. And if you can describe this particular location and the floor that it's most likely on, even if the arrangement of the dungeon is different when someone else comes down here, knowing that there is in fact treasure stuck in here and having the lovely landmark of rotting beholder zombies stuck to the ceiling, as a guide point, you might be able to
And
just sell the information of this location to someone who can get X number of barrels out.
not to mention the broken traps.
Yeah, and since you've already dealt with that, like especially the first trap, which like I said looks kind of like the eruption of a volcano, that's also a very distinctive landmark. Um, so you might still be able to get some value out of this. So the only problem is I'm not quite sure how to indicate that in your inventory, because if I don't give you a marker, an item of some sort,
I
then
mean, well, that's what the notes page is for.
mm,
I'm writing it out as we speak.
actually, let
How
me.
many are there?
So first of all, it's 40 gold pieces. There's 58 barrels. There may be more barrels elsewhere because there's two of these rooms. So let's get a sense of how much they are altogether. We'll come up with an approximate value for them. And what I'm going to do is, rather than give you any item whatsoever or notes, I'm just going to give you the money for now, and we'll just consider you to have sold it whenever you get up there, because there's not much of an opportunity to buy down here anyways, right?
Fair.
Good.
Fair
I
enough.
but we also need to sell that information on the bronze map.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So, well, at least with the bronze map, you have that. And you will be back up at the end at some point, I'm sure of it. So, um, yeah. So, are you guys gonna like what? Sort of get all the barrels that are together and intact and sort of stick them in a corner?
Yeah, we're gonna stick them in a corner, and then we're gonna put a bunch of detritus and debris around it, so that if anyone wanders in here, they don't see anything.
Okay.
Okoro is going to fill up 2 water skins full of the delicious, delicious beer.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Sylvia's gonna enjoy a bit.
Yeah, there's ample liquid in there for everybody to fill up on. So let me see here. Okay, so you guys are. Oh, let me also get Haleth, just so everybody's together. Um, okay, so you all start working to get everything in place, and let me see. Okay. It turns out that one of the barrels is in fact a mimic. It turns out there are a couple of mimic ale barrels. Roll initiative.
You monsters!
So what you're
I
saying is
will.
fireball.
Not in
Uh,
here with the barrels of ale.
I am teasing.
All characters are flattened against the wall by the explosive force of burning alcohol. um, okay, so
Should, we
actually,
should probably remove the traps from the initiative. Or
I guess they've served their purpose. Close him out, close him out, and close him out. Okay, so first thing to act conveniently enough will be the ale barrel attached to Ivar. So considering that you're grappled, does he use? Oh, it has advantage. Okay. Here. Yep.
I'm gonna. Never mind.
If there was something that you should have been able to do, then by all means let me know.
No, I'm fine.
Okay. Anyways, the creature sinks its teeth around your leg, I guess, and it manages to get in just a little bit of piercing damage to your armor, and some acid sort of seeps in around there and sizzles against your flesh. Sylvia, you are up. Wait, I'm so sorry. It was out of turn order. There There we go. Set that to 1. Now you're up.
Okay. Since I am stuck in melee at the moment, I think it is time for Shillelagh to actually be used.
You've
So
been
I'm gonna.
waiting for this for so long.
I
3.
have
No, 2 4s. 2 4s.
aggression.
Wow, you hit.
Yes. Okay. So there's
Okay.
that.
So you grab your shillelagh and beat the ale barrel about the head? Question mark. Repeatedly, causing a number of dents in its wood flesh. Anything else, Sylvia?
Well, I had a bonus action and an action, so
Okay.
boink.
So let's see.
How mobile are these ale barrels?
Okay. So this is this one. Moves up to here. Whips out a pseudopod at Raz. Misses by a mile. It is now Haleth's turn. Let's see here. Haleth reloads his fists and fires off a mighty concussive punch. Lines up again. Hits again.
MVP.
Another set. Another bludgeoning of this creature. It is not bloodied from the initial volley. So next up is going to be Ivar. Now, I don't think a grappled creature's speed becomes 0. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, you don't have disadvantage on anything, you just can't move anywhere.
All right. We'll attack Ale Barrel 3.
Okay.
And I will attack it again.
Nice.
Yay.
Same attack rolls as Okoro.
Oh, nice. You pushed it into bloodied values.
And I will use my bonus action to attack it again with the blunt end. All
Wow,
right.
this thing kind of doesn't stand a chance. So you grip your halberd and you slash at the creature in a flurry of blows, and you manage to pretty significantly tear the creature up. A lot of the wood has been sort of torn away, and its mimicky nature is now apparent. Okoro, what will you do?
Disgusting beast. How dare you defile the deliciousness?
You hit. Nice.
I'm going to kick it. That will raise my AC value by 2. And I
Okay.
will kick it again.
Critical hit.
Hell yeah.
Okoro
Damn.
angry.
You are on fire. Okoro is in an absolute rage over the fact that some of the ale barrels turned out to be mimics in disguise. He batters the creature to pieces and leaves it a bloody pulp on the floor. And it slurps off of Ivar, who is no longer grappled. Boop. And dies.
15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Boop. Die.
Did you draw attack of opportunity from ale barrel
Nope.
1?
Nope. I was 10 feet around them, unless they have 10-foot attack range.
No.
Okay.
I just wasn't
No, he
sure.
could.
Yeah, I have 45 foot of movement, so
Yeah, so you're a
I
lot less
went all the
restricted.
way around him.
Okay. And if you're there
Boop.
we go. Azure. You're up.
I'm going to swing at number 1.
Nice. Oh, so close.
And that's my turn.
Uh, so yeah, you dash forward, you slash at the creature with your great sword, opening up 2 terrible wounds on the creature's surface. Raz turns upon his assailant and
So I have a question. Do I have to make a? I might have to make a roll for this, but the mimic is mimicking an ale barrel, right?
yes.
Does that mean it actually has metal bits, or are those organic bits pretending to be metal?
Give me a second.
I think I know where he's going with this.
I've had this spell for so long, and everyone's in fucking leather armor.
Okay.
Don't use it on Okoru.
I can't unless
Bad.
you're wearing metal.
It is not, in fact, metal.
I figured as much. Fine.
I carry metal.
Yeah, but
Bit
it's
of-
so much better on people wearing metal armor because it's so hard to take that stuff off. Well, I'm just going to vicious mockery the one next to.
It's almost like this dungeon was designed specifically to not have anything with metal armor.
So far.
All right, and it has disadvantage on its next attack roll.
Your nail job was terrible, says Raz.
And I'm just gonna give him a look of really, you disgust me.
Disdain. It doesn't want to move anywhere, so it's going to try to attack Okoru. Okoru is just, a leaf in the wind. Easily manages to dance out of the way. Sylvia, you're up.
Moving away from the ale barrel, and I'm gonna blast number 1. Oh, fucking really? Apparently, I'm not gonna blast number 1.
But wait, it could still be full of beer somehow.
In all fairness, I did drink I did chug a glass of beer right before this combat started. Anyway, I'm done.
Okay. Um, so Ale Barrel 1 is going to.
It has disadvantage on its attack rolls.
Oh, well then I'm going to
Oh
roll.
no, yes, ale barrel one has a disadvantage, correct?
Okay. Well, I rolled twice.
Well,
Sorry about
ow.
missing the appropriate thing, but that's good simulation. It manages to land an exceptionally lucky blow. It does about 7 points of damage from the pseudopod bludgeoning against you. Haleth is up. He fears not the ale barrels, um, ah, and swings fist number 1, hits, ka-chunk, and then swings fist number 2, flump, and manages to knock the
Wait,
creature into bloody
He
values.
missed.
yeah, he missed.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I just assumed he couldn't miss.
He can't miss, right?
Let me.
DM NPC issues.
For a second, I thought you were gonna say DMV instead of MVP, and I'm just like, yeah, no.
So, yeah, no problem. Haleth is done. Ivar, you are up.
I will attack number 1.
Be the DMV of the team.
Don't denigrate him like that.
And my turn is over.
Okay.
Yeah, you administer that parking exam.
That's why I missed once, because you said that.
I agree. I'm going to attack Ale Barrel number 1 with my long limbs.
Okay.
Your daddy was a Guinness.
Okay. That is a mighty effective assault.
Be tempted to give vicious mockery damage for that.
You missed your true calling as the bard.
Yep. Okay. That is it for me. Bam.
Okay. Azure,
Time to clean it up.
let loose.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Charge.
Oh,
Oh.
hey, hey,
My bad.
hey,
Nice automatic miss.
hey.
I'm so used to hitting.
Oh, wow. This is
My
so.
ones are actually hits, guys.
You know, the best part about this is that had he hit, he would have dealt almost maximum damage. Which just
If only.
adds to the insult. So Azure has this weapon. He's ready. He swings. He cuts down the mimic, and he leaps to clear the body to attack the next one. But he trips over it and falls face first onto the ground. Manages to stand himself back up, but his turn is over. Raz.
I'm gonna take a shot at that. Well, actually, I will vicious mockery it.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, take your time.
There we go. I prefer Natty Light over you.
Well, it was certainly effective. Okay. Well, okay. Let me apply disadvantage before I can forget this time. Oh God, there's no good situation for him here. Yeah. I'm not sure if that 14 would have hit. Sylvia, you're up.
I'm gonna do what I always do.
Try and take over the world.
Yes.
Try and take over the arrow barrel.
I like it.
Okay, there's that. Yeah, I'm just gonna be done. I'll use a healing kit if somebody needs it.
Haleth cracks his knuckles and then says, we should charge a monster removal fee for the tacked onto the information for this room. And then he lets loose fist number 1. Uh-huh. Patoom. Fist number 2. And he hits this time, I see. Ka-choom.
I'd just like to say that I take Hal's comment as meaning that he doesn't want to ever complete his quests and he just wants to hang out with us.
Unfortunately for him, the multiverse has different rules. um, so yeah, that's Hal's turn. Ivar.
Oh, I needed to move one square, but okay, there we go.
No, you can reach across that because that's 10 feet.
Yep. Oh, and I just damaged myself. Oh well.
I'll
That
erase
was an
that for
automatic
you.
miss.
Let's see here.
Yeah, so
Um,
I'll remove that.
okay.
And wow, I hit the barrel again, so I'll roll twice because I did not hit him with damage. I hit myself with damage.
Oh, I actually
But
applied the original 15 points
Oh,
of
okay,
damage.
okay, then I
Since you
won't.
got max, I didn't want you to miss out on that. So
All right, so it's just a
it's at
blunt on
proper
this.
damage now.
Okay.
woohoo!
All right. So I took how much did I take?
You took
15.
Myself.
15. Yeah.
Wow. I'm good at hurting myself.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't possibly have done
If
any
you're into
better.
that,
Yeah.
Okoru?
it's not looking too good, right?
No.
No, no, no. It's already bloodied.
Your existence offends me.
Then it cries in response. Ah, there it goes.
Poor thing.
It expires. So,
Like a bad Budweiser.
okay. So when I read the 59, that's the intact non-mimic number.
Okay, so counting the one that we're sort of sampling, there's 58 others.
Yes. Anyways, you after that experience, you kind of use some of the broken sticks from other barrels and poke the rest of them to make sure nothing else is a mimic. It looks like you're in the clear. So you stack everything up in the corner, just as you described. It takes you guys some time, but fortunately, teamwork helps significantly. Um, oh my. And so that's it for this room. You take a thorough inspection around to make sure there are no other secret passages, and there's just the one that you already came through.
Anybody need a short rest or anything?
I mean, I'm not going to say no, but it's up to everybody else.
I think we're fine personally.
Yeah,
I,
we can always head up north.
okay, I'm fine. Just wanted to check in. All right, I will roll some stealth.
I'll have a little bit more beer before we continue on.
That's a stealthy
Oop.
roll.
Maybe the mimics in here won't notice me.
Okay. When you peer inside, unlike the previous room, okay, unlike the previous room, the barrels that are stacked up in here are all 100% intact. In the end, after a significant amount of counting, mostly counting the base and then figuring out how much, yada yada yada, multiplication, it turns out that there's a total of 140 Zirkwood barrels banded in iron. It is a 21-foot high pyramid with a base measuring 7 barrels on a side, and engraved into each of the lids is a magical glyph.
Do I recognize the glyph as being related to alcohol or anything that I can read?
No.
I'm going to take a look at the glyph.
Same.
Yep, me too.
I'm going to use guidance on Sylvia.
Thank you.
I'm gonna drink beer.
Okay, that's an 18. And I am overruled.
Okay.
Ivar
So
knows.
yeah, you guys, all three of you end up conferring. When you each inspect it and talk about the different aspects of the glyph, what you come to the conclusion of is that there is a abjuration magic that has been inscribed on the top of this lid, and it's nothing that you guys are familiar with. But again, with all three of you talking about arcane stuff and trying to figure out exactly what it is that this thing does, you find out that the abjuration magic that you find on this lid is something that's going to keep the barrels preserved. And it just, it's actually a relatively simple glyph. This could probably still work for, any barrel of ale today. It just seems that these particular glyphs were just so good. Um, uh, that it's just stayed intact this whole time. So, anyways, now you have the information about this glyph, which you can just inscribe on a piece of paper. and you also have all of these barrels. They're all intact. They're all still good. You can hear the liquid inside. Um, and now that you know what to look for, it turns out that you had seen some scrapings on the other barrels, but you weren't quite sure what they were. The other barrels also have a similar glyph, but
Should
the
we?
short of it is that they didn't describe that on the other room's description page, so I didn't know to talk about it.
So, should we put that in our Elder Runes notes or what?
This is very different from an Elder Rune, but you can certainly keep notes on this sort of thing. I'm just going to sort of include that information that like there's a magical glyph that preserves ale on these barrels. So not only is it an ancient barrel, not only did you clear out monsters to make it accessible to the person you're selling the information to, but they can even sell this glyph for more money, yada yada yada. Like we'll just add that into the effective value of all of these things.
Oh,
Okor will calligraphy
information reset.
the glyph into his notebook.
A perfect use for calligraphy. So yeah, you go ahead and take your time. You inscribe everything down in there. And when you are done, you have all the information that you need. So now we can say that there are 198 barrels, 58 for the previous room, 140 here. Um, so, um, yeah. So at this point, if they were each worth 40 gold apiece, let's see here.
Just under 8 grand.
8K. Um, let's say 150 gold for the glyphs and the monster clearing out. Um, yeah, so we'll say 8.1 or 8,150 gold, 150, and I'll just transfer that straight to your pockets. Um, wow, 1,600 gold per person. That is an impressive
Nice.
amount. Okay. So you guys, do everything you need to do to take all the careful notes so that you can sell this information later. And now you're able to make your way out. So if you guys look all the way past, and actually, depending on what you want to do, I don't know
We
if you
have a
get
head to sell, don't we?
a what to sell. Yes,
A head to sell.
yes. Um,
We could do that. There's also the thing on the south end of the ballista.
I'm on the I zoom in to look at the map for you guys because it's just easier way to view, and I also have to control the camera for Twitch. So what I am doing is I've gone ahead and drawn arrows on spaces that you haven't yet explored. I'm also going to delete that square. Um, so yes, there is that door to the south, but there are some other doors that were in that same passageway as the person who gave you the quest. I'm just indicating those that you haven't been able to explore yet. So there's a whole bunch of arrows. Move yourselves to wherever you want to explore from here on out.
I say Ivar is in charge.
South it is.
All right.
Okay, then I'm going to remove
Is my
these.
is my stealth roll preserved right now?
Yeah, nothing interrupted it. So, and you also didn't have to do any work to get these barrels into a shape to be hauled out of here.
Alex, quick question: Is the Oh wait, never mind. Could you put an arrow on the southern ballista way, or is that the way we're going?
That's the
That's
way
the way
we're
you're
going, I'm
going.
pretty sure.
Okay, I thought you were talking about the one above us. Sweet.
Nope. Nope. Okay, so let me grab the mask thing here. Let's see. It's not quite perfect, but that'll. Oh my goodness. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. That's approximately 60. Boop. And I'm also gonna get that little bit there that I missed. There you go. Anyways, this door has no particular traps on it. Opens up just fine. You sort of poke your head around the corner, and it extends off into the darkness at least 60 feet.
Boop.
Yes. Wait, you lost that one copper?
I forgot it in the bottom of the trap.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a neat bit of narration. See here, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. I think that's about 60.
Okay. Sneak, 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 sneak.
Okay. And then from here down to here. And then I just want to get that little bit there. And then you get to a point where you find that the passageway turns to the south.
Okay.
And okay. So when you peer around the corner, you find that there's, yet more. There's another twist takes you back to the east. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I think that's 60. It extends even further off into the darkness.
Sneak, 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 sneak.
20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And then
Sneak, 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 sneak.
40, there. I'm going to go like this. This is a little more than 60 feet, but it's
Thank
going to.
God this isn't a Final Fantasy game where we'd have random encounters with shit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is Final Fantasy 13 in a nutshell, corridor simulator. Anyways, um, so you find a door. You also find the stairs to the next level.
Ooh, I was right.
Woohoo!
That's oh wow. And
Okay.
now I can just stare out and say, we can't gain a level now, even though
Well, we do want to complete that one
quest.
quest.
I
oh yeah,
mean,
absolutely.
and you guys can ultimately take the vote if you need to. I haven't completely finished the level below, but I have done at least the first part of it, so I could take
Well,
us down
I
there if
wouldn't
you.
even try to force that before returning the quest. So
Okay.
Yeah, let's at
Um,
least do
And,
that.
and there's a door right here. We might as well go through.
okay. Let me check something.
but I
But
did have
yes,
a hunch that the level down was down here.
Hmm.
good hunch.
Thank you.
I was wondering if we might get close to finishing out this level tonight.
Okay, so what I'm
It's
gonna
always nice
do
to find the door.
there. So you open
Stairs
the
down.
door, and
Hmm.
you can see that inside the room has a sloped upper section of the walls that come to a peak, like the triangle of a roof, that sort of a peak. And
Oh,
then set up there, there's like a I kind of want to say a candelabra, except that instead of having like little candles arranged around the circle of that candelabra, in the center there's a large red crystal. It's about the size of your fist, and it glows with a dim light. So the room is bathed in dim red light.
okay. You look.
Also, before you go anywhere, you
Mm-hmm.
can see that the lower section of the walls, like about your level,
Mm-hmm.
were once lined with carvings. The size and approximate portliness indicates that these were probably dwarves at some point, but for some reason, every single face of all these little dwarves going about whatever little activities they're depicted as doing have been replaced with stony tentacles that protrude from the walls. Now the tentacles, if I'm understanding the size of this carving right, because it's a little vague, I think that the carving is maybe like a foot tall in total. So I think that these tentacles are probably a little bit longer than your forefinger. They're not writhing or anything, they're just kind of sticking out of the wall like little stony spires.
He looks at Ivar and he says, "I don't think you want to see this." He sneaks in.
Okay. Let's see here. 10, 20, 30. Oh, wait a minute. This is dim light, which means that you can see the entire distance. And then let me also get this lower section here. And then also you can see that there's a little ka-chunk right there. And then a tiny, tiny bit more right there. Okay, so way, 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 way down, you find that there are there are some doors um, they're 20-foot tall double doors, and they stand closed at the west end of the hall. The carved into the walls, flanking the double doors, stand armored dwarves, and their stony beards are flowing out of great helms that conceal their facial features. Um, these particular dwarves on the door, for whatever reason, do not have their faces distorted by a tentacle. Yeah, that's kind of all you can see. And then, of course, there's that other passageway that goes even further to the south.
Okoro reports back what he sees.
Okay. Okay. All right. So where will you guys go from here? Are you going to continue exploring or head back?
Is a dwarf-related room? What does Ivar think?
Um, I'm okay with continuing to explore, maybe going down the passageway first, because I'm a little concerned about those doors.
The southern passageway?
Yeah,
Okay.
keep going south.
All right.
Yeah,
You
I
will
agree.
sneak over that direction, keeping an eye for tentacle porn.
Okay. Is anybody else coming with him aside from Sylvia?
I will.
Okay. Boop.
Yeah, I will too. But I'm going to be to the behind them to an extent.
That's fine.
Yep.
This is
Be around here. I just don't want to
yeah.
ruin
Okay.
stealth for anyone.
Right, I
One second.
understand.
I'm going to use invisibility as a third level spell on both Sylvia and I.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So anyways, you can see that there's a doorway down to the south. I don't believe the doorway has any particular features. Nothing was mentioned in there. Let me check one more spot just to be sure. Nope, I don't believe this door has any particular features. It's just the same sort of stone door that you've seen elsewhere. In fact, the same as the one that led into this room.
Okay. He's going to quietly sneak to the door and slide it silently open.
Okay, let's see here. Give me just a second to try to. Well, I probably can't get this shape perfectly. So we'll go like that. Um, okay, so once you look inside, you see that supporting the 20-foot high ceiling are four pillars made of white marble. They are shaped in the likeness of a stoic female elf in flowing robes with a flowering branch clutched to her chest. Now, all of these, they call them caryatids, are facing inward towards each other, sort of towards a central point. And hmm, let's see here. There is a creature. Yes. Oh, wait a minute. Where did it go? Excuse me a second. There we go. I don't know why that didn't appear. Go like that. Go like. Wait, why is it not appearing? Can you guys see the creature?
Nope.
Not even remotely.
What the hell? Oh, I think I know what the problem is. Try deleting that. I figured it out. There we go. Sorry about that. I couldn't see it, so I didn't know what the fuck was happening with it. So anyways, there's this creature. I think I can show you a picture of it without necessarily identifying it. If I go like this, there. It's this little cubic creature. It has its bow at the ready, and
Oh no.
it's marching about in a counterclockwise fashion. Um, okay.
Didn't
Even
we
though it
see something like this earlier?
Yeah, I think we saw a monodrone at some point in a closet.
Yes, yes. This is some variety of Modron, because they all look like they're made out of metal and whatnot. Um, but exactly what type of Modron this is the question, meaning you haven't identified it yet. But at the moment, even though it has its weapon out and it does see you, it doesn't take any immediate hostile action. Like it doesn't draw the bowstring back. It just has an arrow notched. Anyways, I want to see if there's anything else I need to mention. The walls are carved in bas reliefs of unicorns with bare branch trees. Um, yeah, no, that's actually about what seems to be the details of this room. And then I'm just gonna go reveal a little tiny bit more there.
So I get the sense that it spotted me.
Oh no, it's definitely seen you. It's seen anybody else. It just is continuing on its little march around. It goes in a, like I said, a counterclockwise fashion. It's sort of, I know that it's located there, but it's according to the instructions, it kind of goes on an outward, what's the word, circuit around these caryatid statues.
Okay. Can some of us who can see this thing, can we try and identify it?
Yeah, go for it. Definitely Arcana.
We.
That's not
Nope.
too bad. Oh, there you go. Okay. I think a 17 sufficient. So, uh, right. This creature, let me go like this. Uh, that doesn't really help you. This creature is known as a quadrone. They are astute combatants. Quadrones serve as the artillery and field officers within regiments of Modron armies. Just as a very brief refresher for anybody that doesn't remember, Modrons are beings of absolute law. They adhere to a hive-like hierarchy. They inhabit the plane of Mechanus and tend its eternally revolving gears. Their existence of clockwork is a clockwork routine of perfect order. And in addition to which, they are also um, part of something called the Great March, which occurs once every 289 years. It sends out a variety of modrons, and each type of modron is slightly more complex than the one that came before it. This is, in essence, a sort of tier 4 modron. You're not quite sure off the top of your head how high it goes, um, but you have a feeling that this one is pretty intelligent compared to the monodrones that you've seen before, where they have like a single command that they can follow, and they have the most rudimentary of intelligences. Um,
We've been made. Somebody smarter than me figure out what you want to do.
Now, there's something else worth mentioning here, which is that these creatures are capable of seeing using true sight out a good distance, which is just a function of their, lawful ways. Um, and oh, it can't be compelled to act in any way that would be contrary to its ordered mind, meaning you can't like mind control it and give it orders.
Hey, how's it going over there?
The creature sees you. It doesn't stop what it's doing. It sort of cocks its head a little bit, and it speaks, and it sounds an awful lot like whirring and grinding gears. You can't really understand it. You know that actually Modrons have their own language. So without some way to either
I'm
speak with it,
casting tongues on Sylvia.
I can't. Oh, okay. I was gonna
I
cast
lose my.
comprehend languages, but thank you.
well,
That
actually,
means you can speak to it back.
you should still cast comprehend languages because that will let you understand what it's saying, and the tongues will let you speak to it.
Tongues is both understanding and speaking.
Oh, my mistake. Okay, so now you're able to speak to it. So give me just a second, pull up the thingy here.
Unfortunately, invisibility failed because of that, but
It doesn't
It,
seem. I mean, it has true sight, so that didn't really bother it
yeah,
in
I
the
was about to
first place.
say.
So anyways, the creature. The creature now is able to understand you, so it returns the greeting this time, so you can skip the hello.
What are you doing around here? Are you patrolling?
Let's see here. Yes, my orders are to attack anything that tries to damage or topple the caryatids. I am also to walk in a counterclockwise circle around the caryatids when not defending myself or the pillars.
Why would anyone want to damage those caryatids?
I do not know. Halaster seemed quite concerned about it. Frankly, they seem quite beneficial to me.
How so?
Give me just a second here. I just want to make sure I have this correct. Okay. Why, the pillars are capable of great healing magics. If one touches them and speaks the command word, the pillars are able to clear um, blinded, deafened, petrified, poisoned, or stunned on a creature within this room. Each pillar can be activated 4 times, once for each pillar touched, and then their magic will become dormant until the next dawn.
That does seem useful.
Indeed.
Are they connected to anything else? Like, is there a reason why why there might be some sort of, why they might need protection? Because, I mean, that seems like you know, something self-evidently good.
Halaster seems to believe that adventurers are inherently greedy and therefore need to have their baser instincts controlled.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that.
He continues marching around the room while having this conversation, even if it requires him to shout while having it.
Yeah, I kind of figured that was the case.
Any other
Do y'all know what
questions?
do y'all know what the command word is?
Indeed, the command word is elf magic.
Out of character, you cut out.
Oh, the command word is elf magic.
Cool. Let's write that down in the note.
Okay.
You should ask if he knows anything about the rooms to the left or the right.
Okay. What are in those other rooms off to the side?
Um. I have not traveled past the door to the west. However, in the space to the east, there are a number of creatures that have been turned to stone by Halaster and stored there.
Wait, what do these things cure again?
Why, it can remove blinded, deafened, petrified, poisoned, or stunned on a creature.
Well, this is going to be interesting. I feel like also since it's almost 9:30, that is not something we want to get into.
No, it's going to have to wait until next time, unfortunately, but it is a tantalizing option then.
Yes.
I will also have to rush my preparation of the next floor. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for playing.
Thank you for having us.
Yep.
Yep.
Good night.
Good night.